How in the heck am I supposed to remove a transmission in this downpour? I don't know, we'll see. Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. It is the next day after the downpour. As you guys can see out here, it's still pretty wet. It's starting to dry up a bit, but we're supposed to be clear for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna get under this truck, I'm gonna tackle this transmission. Unfortunate events happened last Wednesday. I was coming home from work. I was passing a car that was in the left lane, going pretty slow, so I decided to pass them. As I was accelerating, I hit some bumps in the road, and at that point when I hit the bump, my tires, I think, caught and lost a little bit of traction and then gained traction again. Not like I was burning out or anything, but it just, I think that the butt of the truck just got a little light. So ended up with neutrals. So I thought I popped it out of gear, looked at it, it was still in drive, hit it neutral, back to drive, still nothing. So my assumption is that we have snapped our input shaft. I have not been able to get it in gear since then. This is about 4 or 5 days ago. My buddy towed it to his house. I'll put a picture right here real quick of him towing us back in his TRX. And then the next day I went and got the 3rd gen and towed it all the way to the house, which is probably about 4 miles away. So I was fortunate enough it happened close enough to the house where I can get it back to the house and I could take care of it myself. But 73,000 miles, she is geared. I don't beat on her. I think I've been a little bit rough lately, but you know, it is what it is. It happened. We all know these are known issues with these 68s. They're just not as reliable, but the market and technology have gotten better. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this transmission today. We're going to start with the drive shafts, pull the drive shafts out. I got the wheels chalked, drain the transmission, drain the transfer case, get the transfer case removed, and then start working our way on all the wiring and everything to get that out of the way to where I just have to pretty much pull the bell housing bolts. Torque converter bolts are not fun. It's pretty much the same as a 48. If you guys have seen that video, check it out. But it's wasn't expected to do a transmission this quick. So I know we don't have any 3rd gen content at the moment, but I need to get some stuff going with this truck. This is my daily, so I need to get her back on the road as soon as possible. But yeah, I'll flip you guys around and here we go. We'll start tearing this thing down. All right, so we got the transmission draining now. I got the transfer case drained. Rear drive shaft disconnected, front drive shaft disconnected. Probably been out for like 20 minutes, but pulling the drain plug from the actual transmission, as you guys can see, looks pretty gross. I mean, last time I changed this fluid was probably 50,000 miles ago, so it's probably due, but I'm gonna wipe this off and show you guys what I got. Quite a bit. If you guys have a stock transmission, just know that you don't have a drain plug. It sucks. When I changed this valve body, I just drilled a hole in it. By drilling a hole in it, I knew I was going to replace the pan. It just kind of made it drain a little easier, made less of a mess. But yeah, fun stuff. All right, I wanted to show you guys something real quick. This is a BDS lift, right? So it says it right there. This cross member is a completely different cross member from a stock cross member. And when you're removing it, you got 2 bolts right here. They're 15/16. If this bolt is in backwards, you will not be able to get it out. You would have to cut it out, or you have to remove that upper control arm. It's one of the first things I looked at. So I'll show you guys right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Pretty up close and personal. But they did me a solid when they installed this, because I could just put a wrench on this and pull that bolt out from the back. If it goes bolt through this way, you're gonna have to remove this upper control arm, and that would involve, you know, jacking the vehicle, getting the weight off of it. So I'm going to remove these, or both nuts at least, probably just this bolt and this nut, until I get a transmission jack up here. We're about done draining with the actual transmission fluid. All right, we're at the point where we can pull the cross member, but before then, I'm gonna go ahead and do the torque converter bolts. I got all the hardware. I got the nuts off. I literally just have to jack this joker up and get the transfer case off. I'm debating doing that real quick, just to get one big component out of the way. You guys can tell I'm freaking winded, I'm tired. I've only been out this about an hour. It's nice that I've been able to do this before with my 48, but it's taking its toll, man. It's beating my butt a little bit. Haven't had really any issues, but it's just heavy torque bolts and laying on your back, and yeah. Sorry, I'll stop complaining now and get back to work. All right, boys, so got all the boring stuff done. I got the drive shafts out. Well, rear one's disconnected, front one's still connected to the transfer case. I'm about to pull the transfer case. I got the torque converter bolts out, drain the transmission fluid, drain the transfer case fluid, remove the thermal bypass, a couple bell housing bolts just to make clearance because I got to remove these braces over here. So these braces right here go to the side of the block, and they help brace the transmission to the flex plate and to the side of the block, so it kind of distributes the weight evenly. You can tell I'm out of breath. I literally just got done doing those torque converter bolts. If you ever done those, they absolutely suck. It's probably the worst thing to do job-wise when you're doing a transmission. So I'll set you guys up on the tripod. I'm going to remove the transmission mount that goes to the cross member, and then that can access the transfer case nuts. I'll remove those, and then I'm going to get my jack in here, see if I can remove it. We'll see. I'm not sure how that's going to go. So bear with me, and yeah, the fun heavy stuff is now happening. Well, here we are, another little field trip underneath the truck here. I'm currently at a point where I need a transmission jack to pull the rest of this thing out. As you guys can see, I busted my lip, took a bolt right to the face. Thank God my lip was there, I'd probably chipped and broke a tooth. But yeah, I got the torque converter bolts out. I got the transfer case off. You guys saw that abomination. It's not messed up or anything, thank God. But we're to the point now where I need to pull bell housing bolts and drop this thing. Probably gonna suck it up and go get one from Harbor Freight, since all my buddies that do have them are either deployed or out of town. And yeah, just get this thing going. Just did all the electrical connections, just disconnected those. And I think the only thing I have left is the wire harness. So I'm gonna start peeling that off, and then probably run to Harbor Freight and get this joker done. I at least want to get it pulled out today, and start getting it ready to ship to RevMax so they can use it as a core. But yeah, here we go. All right, guys, day 2 of transmission removal. Had to take a break. I had to go get a transmission jack, but for you guys, just a few seconds later. Finally got transmission jack. I'm gonna have to probably stack something on here to actually get it up, and because of the lift and everything. So I think I'm just gonna use this block I have here. We do have the transfer case in the garage. Drive shaft's in the back of the truck, so we're gonna get at it and get going, and hopefully we can remove the last few bolts off of this thing and get her pulled out. Alright guys, have all the bell housing bolts out. It's kind of hard to see, but terrible lighting. They're out. I got my jerry rig jack. Sorry I'm breathing heavy, it sucked, but I'm gonna try to lower this thing now and get her out of the truck. All right, boys and girls, we got the transmission out. She's sitting right in front of me. I tried to speed, do a time lapse of somehow I was jacking the truck to get the transmission from underneath of it. I had the same problem with the third gen being lower and then this one being higher and so on and so forth, but it was pretty sketch. Tried to do it quick, tried to do it first with the tail hit, not the tailgate, the drop hitch. That didn't get me much, so had to move up to a front, use those monster jacks. But the reason you guys are here is she's out. So I'm about to pull the torque converter and I'm gonna empty it in this bucket over here and then kind of see what our input shaft looks like. Sorry for the crappy lighting, but she is heavy, not fun to deal with. Got her out of there. I put this strap on here at first and she started tilting back, so I had to put this one on the front. But gonna move the jack around, put you guys on a stand, and watch me finagle with this thing. These torque converters are not light, and I mean the transmission itself I think weighs like 450 pounds. So, all right, here we go. And our suspicion is true, she snapped off. So the other piece is in the torque converter. I'm not gonna really mess with that, but she's draining. So yeah, boys, snapped input shaft as we expected. Honestly, sucks, but kind of glad I actually see something that's broken. And we know we weren't guessing wrong. So I'm gonna start tearing some other sensors off this thing, probably get her off of the jack, and just go from there. All right, I lied. There's no way that's 400 pounds, but got her up there. Kind of got her off the jack. She's kind of in a stable spot right now, but whew, sucks. Be a good time to get in here and do a fleece cooling bypass. Oh wait, we got one. Rear main sail looks phenomenal. And there's our barring tool. I'm just gonna leave that in there for now. All right, I'm gonna get these sensors pulled off. For all you military, Navy guys, Marine, got some old map bags. All right, we got all the sensors pulled out. We got the cooler lines pulled out. The only thing left I have is the trans temp sensor that I have for my ISPAR gauges. I'm gonna have to go to run to O'Reilly's, get an 1/8 inch MPT and throw it in there. But other than that, everything is removed. This is how you will ship your transmission back as a core. I'm gonna throw the torque converter back in there before I throw it on a pallet. I'm going to take one of these boards, cut them down, drill a hole, and honestly I'm just going to use some zip ties to tie it on here to keep the torque converter like seated up against the transmission so it doesn't fall off when it's shipping. But yeah guys, transmission is out. I'm not going to pull the pan. I know you guys want to, but it's just dirty. I don't have the time, and there's just a lot of stuff that's in there. I'll see if Josh or Tom over there at RevMax, when they pull this thing apart, if they can send me some pictures. I'm pretty sure they will, and then what I'll do is I'll put them back on the channel on another upcoming upload. But yeah, I got the transmission out, get her shipped out, and hopefully the you know, I kind of gave it away with Josh and Tom's names, but RevMax is going to be hooking us up with a unit. It'll be here in a couple weeks. When it gets here, I'll do like, you know, I'll show you guys the transmission and we'll get it installed so we can get this truck back on the road. But got everything pulled off sensor wise. Everything's over here in baggies, labeled. I'm gonna put these in the back of the truck. And yeah guys, that's where we're at. So 68 RFE problems, huh? Never thought I would have this problem. You know, I thought I had a unicorn. I was like, I don't beat on the truck much. I started to lately, just having a little fun, and as you see, it bit me in the butt. So I'm gonna flip over this torque converter here a second, see if I can zoom in and show you guys the other part of the input shaft. But yeah, man, here we are. You guys can see there's the other part of the input shaft. It's not ideal. She's in there, but clean brake, all over a freaking bump in the road while accelerating. That's all it took. All right guys, that's gonna be it for today's upload. Hope you guys enjoyed it. When the transmission gets here, we'll make another couple videos for this series, but I'm not trying to turn it into a transmission channel. It's just, you know, it's Dodge problems. So it is what it is, but when she gets here, we'll be installing her and going on a test drive and showing you guys all the goodies. But until then, man, I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys haven't been here before, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you on the next upload. Have a good one.